guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing 4 super easy and budget friendly air fryer recipes. So it has been really hot here in Missouri this week, so I have been really trying not to turn the oven on or use the stove whatsoever. So that is why I wanted to do exclusive air fryer recipes this week. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, then just keep watching. Okay, so we are gonna get started by peeling and chopping up some potatoes. I just had these in my pantry, needed to get rid of them. So I'm just gonna peel and chop those and then throw those in some salted water and get those boiling. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on the meatballs. So here I've got 1 pound of ground beef, half a pound of ground pork or sausage, a third cup of breadcrumbs, 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of milk, 2 tablespoons of parsley, 1 tablespoon Parmesan cheese, and then half a teaspoon of whatever herbs that you want. I use Italian seasoning, and then some onion powder, salt, and black pepper. Basically, you're just gonna mix everything together, throw your beef in, mix it, and then divide it into your meatballs. I will, of course, leave this recipe linked down below for you. My favorite way to incorporate meat like this is to use my mix and chop. You can get these pretty much anywhere. I know that Pampered Chef actually are the ones that came up with this idea first, but I got mine at Walmart. It was like $5. Best purchase I've ever made. And now I'm just using my 3 tablespoon ice cream scoop. I use this for so many things. So I'm just going to divide those up and throw them in the bottom of my air fryer. So this recipe I feel is a pretty universal meatball recipe. So we chose to serve this with mashed potatoes and gravy, but I could definitely see you using these with pasta sauce and just making like spaghetti and meatballs, or I don't know, grape jelly and the chili sauce that I made last week. I could see you using these. You can switch up the herbs and give it different flavors, but this is a pretty easy, basic meatball recipe, and I would definitely recommend trying it. So I assembled these in a single layer, and I've got my air fryer on 380. We're just gonna cook these for about 12 minutes. Now that the potatoes are all done, I did chop up a stick of butter and a little bit of milk and threw that in there. And I love using my hand mixer to mix up my potatoes. It just makes it so much easier. Here's what the meatballs look like when they were all done. They looked so yummy. And we just served this with mashed potatoes and gravy, some baby corn, and a roll. Okay, so now we are gonna make air fryer tuna patties. So we are definitely fans of tuna in this house, so this sounded so good to me. So of course I'll leave the recipe link down below for you, but you're gonna need about 3 cans of tuna, 2 or 3 eggs. I started with 2 just because I didn't want it to be too liquidy. You're gonna need, the recipe calls for a zest of 1 lemon, but I did not have a lemon. I just used lemon juice, and you're gonna need 1 tablespoon of that, a half cup of breadcrumbs, 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. It says celery is optional, but we do not like celery in this house, so we did not use that. 3 tablespoons of minced onion. I just used the dried onion and it turned out just fine. Half a tablespoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of dried herbs. I think I decided to use parsley, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then some black pepper. So you'll just basically mix everything together and then you'll form it into patties. I think I did decide to use onion powder as well, just because we like the flavor of onion powder and garlic powder, so that is optional as well. And I would recommend using just a little bit more salt. These weren't quite salty enough for me, so I would recommend using just a little bit more if you like salt. I am using the same cookie scoop as I did for the meatballs. Like I said, I love this kitchen tool, and I'm just gonna form these into patties, not too thick and not too big around, and just layer those in a single layer in the air fryer. So the recipe actually says that you're supposed to get 10 tuna patties out of this, but I think I got 11. So just keep that in mind. If you have a bigger family, you might want to double the recipe. So now I've got the tuna patties in the air fryer. Just gonna throw those in at 360 for 10 minutes and just make sure you flip them halfway. I would definitely recommend going the full amount of time just to make sure that your egg gets done. So I just removed all of the tuna patties and set those to the side, and now we have our favorite new vegetable. My kids are loving air fryer broccoli, so I just buy these bags of broccoli in the at Walmart, and then I'm just gonna break them up into smaller pieces, throw those in there and coat them with a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, and it is simple as that. I'm gonna cook them on 300 for 10 minutes, and I do shake them halfway through. You guys, if you have not tried air fryer vegetables, you definitely should. I was so skeptical of it just because it just sounds weird, right? But I promise, if you like broccoli and green beans and whatever else that you want to put in your air fryer, you will love air fryer vegetables. So here is what everything looks like after I have assembled it on our little island. I made some pasta salad out of the box. I didn't show that. It's pretty self-explanatory. And here is that delicious broccoli. Here's what my plate looks like when it was all done. These were so good, and we used ketchup to dip them in. Okay, so this next meal was definitely the start of the show this week. I've got 3 chicken breasts that I am putting in this bag because I'm going to marinate them. I'm using the maple bourbon chicken marinade by McCormick. These are amazing. I love all the flavors. Actually, one of you guys recommended that I try the bourbon one, so that is what I'm doing here, and I am here to tell you that it was amazing. Just go ahead and go get it. I'm just following the directions on the back of the packet, and I'm gonna put these in the fridge overnight to marinate. I prefer to marinate my chicken overnight, so that is what I'm doing. Okay, so we are gonna get started on our jalapeno poppers. So I have been so scared to buy jalapenos at the store just because I don't like really spicy foods, and jalapenos are just intimidating to me. So I decided to finally bite the bullet and get some jalapenos. So I'm just chopping these long ways with a big old knife to make sure that I don't get any seeds on me. And I'm just gonna chop off some of the ends that were just a little bit too big. I wanted to make sure that they were all pretty well the same size. So I'm just chopping those in half. I'm gonna set them to the side, and then we will take a spoon and hollow out the insides. And I did make sure and be very, very careful and get all the seeds out because my kids were gonna be eating these as well. So that is what I'm doing here. So I really thought that these jalapenos were going to be too spicy for anyone to eat, but I was really careful about getting all the membranes and the seeds out, and they actually were not spicy at all. I was really excited to eat this. So yeah, I'm just taking a spoon. This is the easiest way I feel to get everything out, and I'm just being super careful about getting all the seeds out and not touching anything when I have the seeds there. My kids were there helping me, and I was just like trying to keep them away from everything because I've heard horror stories that if you touch your eyes after dealing with jalapenos, it is not a good scene. So anyway, we're gonna work on the inside of it, the filling. So I've got 6 ounces of cream cheese, 1 teaspoon of ranch seasoning, and then of course you're gonna need about 6 jalapenos cut in half and 6 slices of bacon. So I actually had 7 jalapenos because that's what Walmart gave me, so I just had to cut 7 pieces of bacon in half to make sure that I had enough. And I'm basically just filling up these jalapenos and then setting them on a cookie sheet so that I can wrap them in bacon in just a few minutes. Okay, so now I've got my bacon here. I'm just going to wrap these the best that I can, and I did not read the recipe all the way through, but you are supposed to secure the bacon with toothpicks, which I failed to do, but I would definitely recommend doing that. I cannot recommend these jalapeno poppers enough. My husband is already asking when I'm going to make them again, and I am excited to make them again, so I would definitely recommend trying these. So now I've got my jalapeno poppers. I'm just going to layer them in the air fryer the best that I can. I should mention that I have a 5.8 quart air fryer, so it is definitely big enough for a family of 4, and I can leave a link down below for you. I just got it on Amazon, and there are coupons on it quite frequently, so if you're wanting an air fryer, just watch out for coupons. So I'm just going to put these in the air fryer for about 10 minutes at 400 degrees, and then I will check them at 10 minutes, and if they need to go a little bit longer, I do. We prefer our bacon super crispy, so just make sure that you watch them. Okay, so after they were done to our liking, I'm just gonna remove them and put them on a plate, set them to the side, and then we will put our chicken in. So I just got those 3 chicken breasts. I'm just throwing them in the same pan that I used before. No need to wash in between, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna throw those in and cook those on 400 for about 10 minutes, and then I will check them. So here's what the chicken looks like when it was all done. It has that beautiful brown crust on it. And here are those jalapeno poppers. Like I said, make sure and secure them with toothpicks. And then we just served this with pasta salad from the night before. And I cut up all the chicken. Here's what it looks like when it was all done. Like I said, this was definitely the star of the week. All right, so this last recipe, I did cheat a little bit. I had to use the stove and the crock pot, but I still recommend this recipe. So I'm just starting out by heating up some corn tortillas on the stove. You just want to spray the pan with oil and then spray your tortilla. I did cook the chicken in the crock pot like I said. I used some buffalo sauce and some ranch seasoning, which I will leave the recipe link down below for you, and some cream cheese. It was about 2 ounces that I had left out of that block from the jalapeno poppers. So I'm basically just assembling these. I've got chicken, some cheese. I'm just rolling them up. I also made some green beans in the air fryer. Same method as I used before with the broccoli, and it was really, really good. So yeah, I'm just gonna take the green beans out, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started on the taquitos. So I did have to do these in 2 batches, so I'm just putting these in the air fryer on a single layer, and then we will cook these on about 360, I believe, for about 6 minutes. I did check them halfway through just to make sure that they weren't getting too done. Just make sure you keep an eye on them. These are corn tortillas, so they will cook faster than normal. So I'm just going to remove these to a separate plate and then get started on our second batch. And we actually serve these with some ranch dressing that I had made. We like using the Hidden Valley powder, and I just used some milk and mayonnaise and basically followed the directions on the back of the packet. And we love this. This was amazing. I would definitely recommend trying this. Like I said, I did cheat a little bit, but I still did not use my oven, which was the main goal this week. And then here's what everything looks like when it all came together. There was the air fryer green beans. We had some Bob Evans macaroni and cheese and those buffalo chicken taquitos. And then here's what my plate looks like. We have, of course, served this with some homemade ranch. So that's gonna be it for this week's What's for Dinner. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.